Hey everybody, I'm carrying on doing the the standards that we use in Joint Venture Mastermind, and there's a part of me today that thought, do I need to go off piste and handle the coronavirus and all the stuff that everyone's dealing with, and then I looked at what today's standard is, and we're only on number 2. I just started this last week. Hey Milosh, how you doing? I only started doing these videos last week, and the standard for today, which is number 2 in Joint Venture Mastermind, is no naysayers allowed. And I thought, we don't need to change the topic at all, because that's bang on. And what I'd really like to share with is that standard that we all use in Joint Venture Mastermind. So me and my clients and my groups, and we have a standard that's a rule that's no naysayers allowed. And what a brilliant rule in this time of Armageddon, it seems. And I think it's really powerful to acknowledge the shit and acknowledge the hard and acknowledge all of you. I come from a catering background. I can't imagine what you're all dealing with right now with your jobs disappearing in front of you. I know a lot of freelancers whose businesses have vanished. Charlie's the little classes that he goes to, he's only a year and a half, so he goes to little baby groups, and the amazing women that run those, their businesses have vanished because we can no longer go to these classes. And I'm not ignoring the shit, and I'm not pretending everything's okay. What I'm inviting everyone to do is to acknowledge the shit and then go, okay, hey, what are we actually going to do? What can we do? Because if you stay in naysayer land, which is what I would call it, you're gonna make your lives harder, and you're gonna stay in the what you can't do. And one of my brilliant clients, James Richardson, you know who you are. James said to me a couple of months back when I was dealing with being pregnant and being frustrated because I wanted to go and do cold water diving and saunas and all the stuff that they tell you can't do, he went, hey, why don't you focus on what you can do while you're pregnant rather than focus on what you can't do? And it was just, do you know that day it changed? It was ironic because I was coaching them that day. I'm going to stop walking because I'm walking up a hill and I'm getting out of breath. This baby is not leaving much room for space. So he said, focus on what you can do, not what you can't do. And that's what I'm inviting you all to do today. I'm loving Tanya from Lynchpin's lives, where she's saying, look at what we can do, to all the freelancers. So I say to all of you, yes, acknowledge the shit. Acknowledge what isn't working. Acknowledge the income that you're not going to have. Acknowledge the hard. Acknowledge dealing with kids at home. Acknowledge, people possibly getting sick. All of that. And then park it and deal with what you can do. Deal with what is possible. Have a look at, are you dealing with 3 to 6 months and then going back to, I'm going to call it your old life. Are you going back to your old life in 3 to 6 months? Or is this a wake-up call to you of, actually you didn't like your job anyway? Do you know what? That contract that you were doing was kind of sucky. That job that you might have been moving to, you didn't really want anyway. Any of that stuff, use this as the chance to go there. If you don't really like what you're doing in your life right now, as sucky as this might be the perfect opportunity to change. This might be the perfect opportunity to deal with changing your career, re-educating yourself, spending time writing that book you've always said you wanted to write, but you never get round to do it. Writing that program that you want to do, whatever your thing is that you never do because you haven't got time because life's really busy. Now's the time to do it. And again, if you've got income issues, sure, you're going to have to deal with that. Everyone on some level is going to have to deal with finances. I also invite you to look and say, well, have I got 3 to 6 months savings? Because if I haven't, that's a problem. Commit that after this coronavirus stuff is gone, that you'll have a backup plan. So if you do lose your job, or your business disappears overnight for a few months, you've got some backup in your bank accounts. You can't live month to month when stuff like this happens. You really can't. And as sucky as it might be right now, if you haven't got that, it fucking sucks. There's no no doubt about it, but don't let it happen again. Don't ever be in this situation again. If you're in a position now where because you've lost your job or you've lost your business, your income, or you can't pay your employees, if you're in a position that you only have 1 month and you're, really stuck, then you need to look at that for the next time and have that buffer there. Be really powerful around how this is actually going to change your life and what you can do. And again, hey Gemma, how's it going? Love watching Gemma's posts as well. Super. I mean, you guys must be just dealing with shit right now. All the artists and the musicians out there, I haven't even mentioned you guys, the stuff that you're dealing with. And what can you do online? Who can you help? How can you make this so that next time you've got that buffer there? I know a lot of musicians and people in drama, glad you're good, Gemma, who are stuck because the income's gone. Yeah? Use this as an opportunity to look at what you can do. What dreams have you left unmet? Can you get out? I'm out with the dogs. I love being out with the dogs. What can you do? And focus on that. And if there are, again, going back to in Joint Venture Mastermind, we have a thing of no naysayers allowed, then don't let them in, or invite them into a different conversation. Invite them into the conversation around what could they do, not what they're not doing. Be really powerful around that. Be really powerful about changing the conversation. Don't get stuck in the conversation about what's not possible. Get into the conversation about what's possible. And if there are people around you that are being naysayers, you got two choices. You can either enroll them into a different conversation, or you can say, do you know what? I'm not coming down this rabbit hole with you. I can't do it. I cannot be in the conversation that's bringing everything down. We've got to look at what's possible. We've got to look at what's going on. We've got to look at what we can do. It really is just all about that right now. I wish you all massive love. I'll do another one next week with our third standard. Gemma, just to answer your question, what I'm doing right now, I'm moving my coaching business online. So all of my clients that normally come to workshops, we're working online. And several of my clients are dealing with, big businesses that are struggling with employees. But again, we're looking at what is possible. And for those of you who really are struggling with income, just to answer that as well, Gemma, I have income that comes in from rentals. Is my business going to be affected? For sure it is, because people are affected. I'll deal with it. I have buffers. And that's the biggest thing that I can say to everyone right now is if you don't have it this time round, make sure you use this as a lesson to never let it happen again, and build a buffer in your bank accounts and build residual income. Build income that can come in no matter what, because then you can do what you want to do and have a business that works and all the rest of it without living in this month to month. If something happens out there in the world, it's game over and it's super, super stressful. Any of you that have got any kinds of businesses that are affected like this, it's so important. It fucking sucks right now. Don't ever let it happen to you ever again. We're going to be a long time on this planet, and it doesn't matter if it's a financial crash or a virus, or a brilliant client and friend of mine, Hazel Hanant, who had a baby prematurely at 27 weeks that wiped out her photography business. This situation is no different. When that happened to her, she built, and if you go onto Hazel Hanant's page, she'll share about that. She's built a utility warehouse business so she can carry on working anyway. Find ways to do things differently, and find ways to build a life that doesn't get so impacted right now. Those of the people that are mostly impacted in this right now are the ones that are living month to month. We have to be a different way in this world so that outside circumstances don't wipe us out. And if you are dealing with that right now and you are being potentially wiped out for 3, 6 months, maybe even a year, you need to get onto Universal Credit and see what's available. There's a lot of people asking, what about us freelancers? What about this? What about that? We have an incredible benefit system in this country that is here for us. And it really pains me when people complain about the government and say it's not good enough. We are so blessed in this country to have what we have. And there is help there. There's help coming from the government for businesses. There's help coming for renters. There's help coming for people with residential mortgages. I'm hesitant to say there's probably help for landlords. I doubt there is, but we can also see it through. We can manage if there's help for renters. And if you are struggling on a personal level, please find out what you can get with Universal Credit and apply for it. It's what it's there for. Don't be in this group of people right now who are like, but I don't want to claim benefits. It's why it's there. It's how the government helps us when shit's going wrong. So please don't ask what there is for help and say in the same time, I don't want to claim benefits, because that's why they're there. I wish you all massive love, and I really, really urge you to stay in the conversation of what can I do? What is possible? How is this going to change my life for the better forever? And go about life like that. Acknowledge the shit, cry, punch a pillow, do all of that, and then pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and ask how you're going to make this the best situation that you can. I love you all dearly. Thank you for your time and your attention. If anyone wants any kind of further advice, you can send me a message. We can do some kind of like live conversation. I'm doing free coaching calls for people at the moment who are struggling. I'm fully booked for coaching clients. I'm not taking on any paid clients, but if you are struggling and you want a coaching call that you're happy for other people to watch, I am more than happy to do that with you, so that it adds values for others, because whatever you're dealing with, other people will be too. Big love.